It's a Thursday, July 13th, 2023, your day weather podcast being brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Well, there's a great photo of red at night, sailor's delight from John there in Wheatland. Thunderstorm chances are going to be higher as we head on into the next few days as moisture starts to creep back in from the north and east again with a bit of a cool surge coming out of Canada. We did see a little bit of thunderstorm activity last night in some parts of the region. We continued warm today. Those warmer temperatures will continue. Today, as we go out into Friday and the weekend, we'll cool off a little bit. Now, do expect thunderstorm chances to pick up a bit as we'll see some cooler, moist air get pushed in from the northeast of that cool front coming out of Canada that we've been talking about for the last few days. So this will bring an uptick in thunderstorm activity east and along the Continental Divide and out into the plains, and more towards the central plains as we head into the next few days. The focal point Friday and Saturday of thunderstorms a little bit more to the east, kind of like what we've seen this week in that monsoonal moisture flow, which we're keeping an eye on. It's really scheduled to surge more northward into the region right around Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. I think Tuesday is when we'll notice it getting a little bit more of a leap towards the north into the central Rockies a little bit more. So we did talk about there were some pop-up showers and thunderstorms yesterday. And this shot with this thunderstorm that went across parts of the Nebraska Panhandle was kind of a loner. But you can see how large and beautiful it was as it really came together quickly. With all the soil moisture we have from all the rain this spring and early summer, even on a high pressure fair day, enough heat with that moisture evaporating back into the air is enough to generate these isolated showers or thunderstorms so they could still pop up even on a day where you don't think much is going to be going on. And here's a monsoonal rainbow shot coming out of Grants, New Mexico. Beautiful shot there of a rainbow as the desert Southwest finally starting to see those summer monsoon thunderstorms make an appearance. As we take a look at the satellite photos this morning, the nocturnal thunderstorm activity down into Missouri and Arkansas heading southeast. The remnants of that thunderstorm I showed you there, but elsewhere, fairly quiet across the region. But you can take a look at the satellite water vapor shot. So the same image, but taking a look at the water vapor. And we can see the higher humidity air right here, part of the surge of cooler, moist air backing its way to the southwest, drier air in between, and then the moisture here in the desert Southwest in Mexico. And if you focus in on that a little bit better, you can see it's getting a little further north right here, also getting a little bit deeper. And with the high pressure ridge right here, it's just going to kind of very slowly meander like this. The winds aloft are weak, so the moisture flow is going to be slow, but it's going to be steady. And there's also nothing to blow it away or push it on out. As we take a look at that low in Canada, boy, it's robust. Still sitting there, the high right there. So basically, it's the same map that I've been showing you over the last couple of days. And you can see the coolness up here in Canada with that low. And you can see the heat here in the desert Southwest by this afternoon. These little blue patches is where the model is showing that's where the afternoon and evening thunderstorm coverage is going to be popping up later today. And there it is. So the thunderstorms a bit more prominent today for the Colorado and New Mexico Front Range, eastern Wyoming, eastern Montana, and the Dakotas, and a good chunk there of western and northern Nebraska. So we're that contrast between the heat from the high and the cooler, moist air, the battleground right here. So it's going to be more active with the thunderstorms. As we take a look at the severe weather threat, there is some risk of severe weather in that yellow area today. So after a couple of days where there really has not been a lot of severe weather, which has been really nice, we do have to watch out for maybe a few strong thunderstorms, especially in those darker green and yellow areas there. This is what it looks like for tomorrow. Very active day in Kansas, parts of southeast Nebraska, then into parts of the Corn Belt, then the monsoon down here, and then along the Front Range of Wyoming and Colorado, some late afternoon and evening thunderstorms popping up. West of the Divide, we still kind of have this dry hole right here, and that's going to hang on here for a little bit longer. The severe weather threat Friday, more towards Kansas, Missouri, shifting a little bit more south and east. This is for Saturday. Again, Front Range thunderstorms and into the adjacent plains. Monsoonal moisture in the southwest, weak activity along and just east of the divide, where that cooler air mass Saturday is going to back up against the mountains, and it may be cool enough to suppress any widespread thunderstorm activity in that cooler air up there. And so you can see more of a general thunderstorm pattern for Saturday across the United States. Now, by Sunday, this is what it looks like, shifting more out to the east. Then we see a lot of thunderstorm activity here in Mexico, and that is what's going to start to make its move as we get into early next week, as the high becomes more well established across the south, and it's in a really good position to bring up that moisture. And you can really see that here. We showed you this yesterday. What I'm going to do here is loop this several times. This actually starts today, and it goes all the way out to late next week, and really the start of next weekend. So you can see the brown is more prominent in the Great Basin states through the weekend. But wow, look what happens there by early next week, towards the middle of next week. That drier air that's in the Great Basin is overtaken by the green and the white that you see coming up out of Mexico, and then heads on through, even some of it swinging through parts of central and southern California before it heads east. So that's that first real bona fide monsoon moisture plume of the season. And it's going to be arriving mid to late next week. Hey, right at the start of Cheyenne Frontier Days, which folks around Cheyenne Frontier Days know it usually tends to be a pattern that gets more active with thunderstorms right around then. It looks like that's going to happen. And there you can see, this is the thunderstorm forecast for that same area for Tuesday afternoon and evening of next week. So that's just a classic afternoon thunderstorm pattern that you get with the monsoon as it starts to work its way on in. Then temperatures over the next 10 days average together. This is between now and next Sunday. The coolness in Canada into the central United States, and the heat there is going to be right along the edges of that cool air. But the hottest of hot will continue to be in the Great Basin and the desert southwest. But those afternoon clouds and afternoon thunderstorms will help in those areas. Very warm in western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Have yourself a good Thursday. We will see you tomorrow.